would have studied Black Dragon's play on this map, so we could expect some good counter strats.
Right. A lot of people were saying that Sao Paulo was decided in the semifinal just by the picks and bans. And here, at least the picks and bans both, well, the picks themselves go either way. Of course, as you said, starting off with Bank, and that is Black Dragons' map. And you see Julio being very, very ready to click directly on the blitz. Go with that. Now, Penta Sports will start off with a defense downstairs. They're going to go with Shante on the Echo, Pengu this time on the Pulse, Goga on the Mira, something we definitely don't see.
What I like is just the sheer amount of plant denial they hear. Because Pengu is going to be the man who's going to be able to call out when to throw that C4, when to throw that smoke, when the yokai should be pulled out. He can just call that out, stay safe in Gold Vault, and that is the ideal position to be in to use all of that utility. I could almost see if Black Dragons are smart enough to read into that, to just straight up go for a vault push from behind, something we rarely see, but would definitely catch Penta off guard with this particular defensive setup they have. The question is Judas going to be able to catch anyone on a roam? If he's even going to be playing roam, that's the real question.
Yep, that is indeed. We've seen Ella being so strong. Example, again, GCR, who's been so good when he played on Bank with the Ella, just because of the lines of sight that you can create from the top stairs down into the server area.
And it's so hard to hold map control on.
Exactly. And we've seen a big part of it has been the skylight hatch. A lot of teams have stopped really opening it up, even though they're on the attack, fearing a roamer to come back because map Bank favors roamers so much. You might as well just keep it closed at this point and set a Claymore behind you.
Not even just the hatch, but the hatch also in the open area office there.
Yes.
We've actually seen a lot of times late roamed up actually start to stop diffuser plants from above or to even go for a retake. So there's a lot of possibilities on this map that we just started here against two very strong teams.
All right, well, yet again, it's BD on the attack. It's Bisa D wasting no time here in the stairway. We're going to take control of the hallway. Very standard, clear up the checklist for the Havana. Of course, first of which will be to clean up the office and open area hatches. You see Pengu on the Pulse, an odd thing to say, but he's going to be running around and just checking, making sure where BD are setting up so Penta can just rotate back on the site. Of course, an important part of this is keeping Shate alive on the Echo, but will he be a last line of defense? That's something that we've seen Supremacy pull out.
Yeah, he might have to come in late. We have seen a lot of Echoes playing in that garage because they aren't needed necessarily right away, and you don't want to give the yokai away. But Julio is pushing fairly aggressively with that shield, and they may have to deploy their defense a lot sooner than they think. But that Echo drone is actually pretty useful at stunning that shield, something that could come into play here. If he gets in sight, he's already down there aggressively, helping open that wall. It's 46 seconds left, and they do have it open, but look at that, just line of sight across the red hallway. Just everything shotgunned open, but not enough for them to just aggressively push through.
And the important part of this is that they don't, well, Penta don't set up in red hallway because they don't want to get shot from the side hedge here. Psycho, though, great shot on Shate. Shate was not expecting anybody in garage, sitting right on the mirror wall facing on the inside. Julio taking a lot of damage from the smoke. Again, there is a yokai to help them out. Fabian will get the first kill for Penta as Smokes will go down. Walk taking damage here, but they're going to roll right into red hall. Might just open up this Mira. Give them light offside, a quick rush from Pengu, gets one, double kill for Pengu, but BZD will refrag. Pengu remaneuver, steps up in server room, a very difficult position to shut down, and Jonas will get the final kill on the Ella, this time relying on quick reactions and timing. Yokai was not just to stop it, it was there to give info, just fearing how strong Julio has been on the blitz.
Absolutely. It was a great rush towards the end there, but they were in an awesome position as well, having that gold vault from Pengu, like I was talking about, let them call out to Fabian, who's all the way back in the actual B site to throw those smoke grenades through the double holes so he didn't have to play it unsafe in that red hallway that they'd opened up wide. And that is why you have that pulse there, because he can make those calls without the smoke having to peak, and that's why they were able to stall them out as long as they were. And then Pengu at the end saying, you know what, I'm just going to clean this up myself. I know exactly who's there and where they're at, and just massacred them at the end. There was a nice push, though, once they started to push into the B site, but there wasn't enough time left to kill everyone and potentially make that work.
The timing from the smoke was on point to shut down, at least take down Julio very low on HP, so he couldn't go back again, so they didn't have to face the turtle, basically. And the Mira wall was set up into garage, so they have line of sight on there. Unfortunately, weren't really able to do much with it. And now, we're going to go for a Teller's Archives defense.
Interesting start here.
Yeah.
But this is Black Dragons probably playing a little bit against what Penta is expecting. But Penta are a team that's going to be prepared for that bomb site because it's not a bomb site. It's a rare one.
Yeah, and Montagne being picked by Fabian, that's the thing that
makes me wonder, was that for the bottom or was that for the middle? You never really know until you start to see it executed, but I would like to see it. We have seen some interesting Montaigne strats yesterday from Penta as well, so
they played an Oregon tower rush with Montagne and just were not able to do anything against them. And
I'm curious to see if he's going to actually go down to garage or if he's going to push through lone office window, which is a nice place to push from Montaigne as long as you're not overexposed, but garage it is, as he's going to rotate down here and give himself the ability to help clear this bottom floor. I'm sure if they're just going to go for a full clear, Zyronic would be proud with the old Montaigne walk around and look into every single room with your teammates' help. But we do have other team members here to try and stop him as Kamikaze hanging out in the gold vault. They're not clearing, and he's going to be able to sneak around from behind if they have the intel to make that call. And those loud, clomping footsteps from Fabian are going to give him away.
Yeah, very much like in real life as Fabian sets up in open area. And, well, the rest of the team, at least Kamikaze staying below in gold vault, as you were saying, it's the best spot to say, oh, we wish we had a pulse. But Shate might just try and hunt Romir here, but Kamikaze is just sitting down. There's a Claymore to stop him if need be, but they need to watch their backs here, Penta, because this all relies on quick execution and timing if they want to shut down their opponents. Yeah,
I think Kamikaze and Shate are going to fight each other eventually, but it's going to be quite the tease. But so much action going down right now onto the archives room that they're going to have a bit of a distraction, the tellers room, as they're starting to push their drones in, get an idea. No one actually defending in the A site. Plenty of way for them to start to push in for the plant if they have the right coverage, but no one dead yet. Still a minute 20 left.
Oh, Kamikaze whips the shot now, has to fight the 1v1 and lands the headshot. Shate will be the first one to fall, the newcomer, of course, to the team. And the Mira is angled upstairs. No info on him, and PZD will get the kill on a Pengu. That is the Thatcher and the Ash down. Fabian, the strong suit here, still alive, and he's going to try to shield his teammate from any incoming C4 from the Valkyrie. Well done here. Psycho is forced back and will have to retreat away from the archives. But now, top control is in the hands of Black Dragons. They might just have to take control of the stairs here before they get down on site. PZD with 1, and Jonas will go down 2 versus 4, but Fabian on the shield can definitely delay this a lot.
So they're going to have to rotate around and try and find a flank on him, but Kamikaze is going to make it hard. However, he gets taken down by Goga. Despite the low health, he did his job planting that diffuser and covering the flank for Fabian.
Unfortunately, PZD from behind, and now only one. Goga gets the double! They go down! Psycho all on his own. Now Goga falls to the floor. Now, fortunately, will get shot down, and this diffuser will get destroyed as Psycho will clutch the round there. Goga almost making the dream happen. Unfortunately, a bullet too little.
Definitely. So nice coverage there from Black Dragons, having their team spread out for the top floor and the bottom floor. Obviously, that Kamikaze play from below, not so expected. You expect people to contest you upstairs, but not as much someone just hanging out in the actual vault.
Here's the thing, though. As you said this at the start of the round, it was probably Penta not expecting to attack this site. It's very probable, because when do you ever see a Teller's archives being pulled first?
But they absolutely decided to take advantage of that and just went for a plant almost with like a minute left still.
That is your biggest advantage with the Monty.
Absolutely, and once they set that up, they actually forced the defenders to rotate out, but their lack of clearing the roamers upstairs is really what kind of bit them, because they had so many people to try and fight that Goga had to fight a huge battle to try and keep his Monty alive, and Fabian just didn't have any other reinforcements because Shate got taken down in the downstairs vaults, and that was... I mean, I liked what they were trying to do, but at the end of the day, just too many people fell too soon in a plant situation like that. But Goga, so close to saving it.
Yeah, and as you said, had Shate won the fight downstairs in gold,
I think they would have pulled it off.
It would have been a round win for Penta, but hindsight, as we always, all of us always say, is 2020, and Goga will set himself up here on the castle. A lot of castle play during the Invitational because it allows you to slow down your enemy and expend as much utility as possible. We always mention how important this is. Of course, denying the top floor here at CEO.
That's also an important angle you can deny through the windows that a lot of people will exploit. Yeah, you can put up wood barricades, but those can be shot down very easily, and that's important if you want to be able to play freely in that small little office there. But no surprise that they're going to be going to Tellers this time for Penta because they won the downstairs. And as we were saying, this is kind of a typical secondary bomb, but Shate down so early.
Psycho taking a lot of damage from Shate, but he will win this one out here. And, well, at least it is a victory. He will take down the one player via the stairs skylight here from stock.
Shate is struggling a little bit at the beginning of this year. The first pick both times. That's not where he wants to be from someone we know has a lot of fragging potential and has typically been a very good Mira player.
But, very aggressive. It has been a thing as well here. Mira has been always relegated to the back, just sit behind, play the C4, etc. I think a lot of teams have gotten to the habit of only playing Oregon with that playstyle, but on other maps, there are definitely, even Oregon itself with the holding on the tower stairs, now we would call the Pengu position, is very much might work.
Out.
Honestly here, Jonas, what were you trying? P's at D will take him out. And just spraying through janitor room as Kamikaze moves in the skylight stairwell.
The important thing is they have the wall open now. They have the ability to start pushing into that CEO and clear it out, which it's already cleared out. So now they just have to realize that and take full control. Kamikaze, though, is trying to make sure that there's no hidden opposition they didn't spot. We'll see if they can use that full control to attack below, as they do not have a buck to be able to start opening the floor. However, they have plenty of other destructive capability. They could even start using thermite breach charges if it got to that point. But you're usually going to save those for the wall that we saw, for example, PENTA using last round.
Yeah, the stairs are going to be so important here to deny push from Black Dragons, as in this case they do not have the standard buck, if you will, but you see more sprays here from the T95, but Goga will end the shot on Psycho and start back here for PENTA Sports. Remember, there are 3v4 from behind. Goga yet again, Kamikaze will go down. They remaneuver, holding open area. Goga just takes down his barricade and jumps onto the site.
Interesting to see all the castle plays after that panel we just had talking about the low pick rate. But the Pengu finally waking up here. That's Julio down, making it a 3v2.
Now it's Wagner's P's at D. Fabian with a quick aggressive push. One kill, and Goga gets the second. Goga, the underrated support every single round. But here, this is Goga. This is why he is, in a lot of people's minds, including ourselves, one of the best, if not the best support in Europe, at least.
We've seen a lot of great support players really come alive this tournament. It's been a case of where they also are playing so well with their team because the team coordination is so high that support players can actually suddenly show up as fraggers. We saw Gogo, he was on Thermite last time, and then on Castle this time, two operators you don't usually think of as fraggers, but there is always the joke of Fragmite. But that's not because he's a high fragger, it's just because you still have potential to. Still, Goga, though, showing that PENTA have not woken up, but they are definitely still in this.
And this is what I want to see. Psycho going for the Vigil. Oh my god.
This is a harder map in some ways to play it. Yes, there are some tight groupings to be able to use it, but
open area, stock. Even though like these two positions are very pivotal because you either deny your opponents coming from the outside or trying to rotate from the staircase below. There's a lot of positions that you can set yourself up in. And, you know, instead of having just a castle player or a pulse to support the Ella, just have Psycho maybe free roam on his own.
Yeah, and it's a situation where they've obviously got to support each other on all that. PZD going to be there to help Psycho, I imagine, in those tight moments, taking advantage of that 3-speed to come back him up. Because they are both playing the top floor, I think, at the moment, to just hold that as long as possible, despite the bomb site being all the way down. This is something we've seen from some teams, just trying to make sure that they cannot gain any kind of real map control, because if you're on the top floor and they just try and take the middle floor, they're still just as dead. So they've got to take both floors then at that point, and that really slows the attack down if the defenders can stay alive. But they've got extra backup from Kamikaze as well. 3 roamers up top is risky if they're able to fully push the downstairs and take it with a very fast push, as Fabian is on that Montaigne again to potentially do.
Yep, and Fabian, we saw him fail in the push, if you will, before into Telder's Archives. However, that might not have been the intended attacking target.
I think this was the intended target right here.
Indeed, and Fabian will set himself in. He's up just a bit further away here, so obviously C4 doesn't do any damage to him, so he can just try to bait out any of his opponents. Smoke is going to get thrown in, but that is at the 2-minute mark. Huge here for PENTA.
Yeah, he said it, like you said, it's a place where C4 is hard to get behind him, and that's the important part. Smokes are only going to do so much when he can just back away from them, and since he's not going to take a lot of damage most of the time, he can just take a little bit, a few puffs, so to speak, and still stick through this and do his job, as Thermite is bringing it We saw what Goga did last round. I think he's going to bring it this round as well if he doesn't get hit from Hatch.
You see the rest of Penta holding the top side. Reminder, holding Skylight is so important here. It's a good thing for Kamikaze that he is on the Legion. This means Penta have to deal with it. Fabian especially here, but Goga will have to set himself up. They're trying to go for a C4 bait, and here we go. They will bait it out. Fabian now low on HP, and this is a spot that we have so many times. PZD trying to find the angle, but this is so well calculated, even having to kill his own Jmot mine, though Jonas and Pengu will get a kill each. That's the Claymore set down. Pengu with one more. Goga will refrag and leaving only one. Kamikaze lands one headshot and lands the second. Can't do anything against the Monty here as he waits for the goo to recharge. He has to play for the 1v1, but the 3 players waiting for him. Fabian will clean him up, and what a very passive but very calculated push from Penta.
A lot of that depended on Fabian playing that perfectly on that Montaigne in terms of staying alive, because as soon as he dies, a lot of that push fails. Yes, once the diffuser's down, not as big a deal, but getting that diffuser down was the key part. But not only that, as you were saying, baiting out those smokes early was really the key part, because it's so hard to get the diffuser stopped.
I think even we saw a triple stack of the smoke at some point. They were not staged. Of course, you have the throw and then the 10 seconds afterwards with the smoke. So you have around 11.5, 12 seconds to play around with. Unfortunately here, they were thrown so fast that even went one on top of the other because of a missed angle. But that aside, 3-1, and on Black Dragons' map, I think Penta have definitely done their homework here.
Yeah, they seem well prepared for it. In fact, with Shate bringing the Echo, I feel like that's something Black Dragons should have done. They had the Legion, which was a nice, subtle counter to Montaigne. I say subtle because it didn't really do much damage to him. It just forced him away.
Yes.
But they were already with so much time, it didn't do a real ton of actual pushing away the diffuser at that point. However, the Echo drone can actually knock his shield away in a situation where they might have been able to hit him with something a little more substantial than just a little cow drop in the foot. But we'll see if Shate can live a little bit longer this time. Last time he had trouble in that garage. I imagine he might play something similar in there, but Junas actually going to play with him just to make sure he stays alive a little bit longer. We'll see if he sticks with that.
I mean, it is easier to rotate definitely from garage back into the site here.
That assumes you control those stairs, though.
Yes. So Shate plays fairly inside of garage, just having to set himself up there. They even put barbed wire on the entrance, which is definitely not something new.
Yeah, they are trying to adapt from what didn't work last time, but they are still bringing Pengu on that pulse, Fabian back on that smoke, Shate on the Echo, Goga on the Mira. This is pretty much what worked last time. They're just trying to make adaptations to how they play it, and that's exactly what they need to do unless Black Dragons have a real trick up their sleeve. I would still almost wonder if they would think about a gold vault push, I mean not a gold vault, but a vault push into gold to try and get Pengu out of there in a situation where then he'd be, he's the real problem child for them, right? Take him out, and even if you push from the other side afterwards, it would still work. But that's up to Black Dragons to read into. Psycho on that glass we was talking about on the analyst desk. That should be interesting.
A lot of times when you're going with the glass, of course you'll go with the Ying. That's pretty much a given. But once you go for a blitz, there are different ways to do it. It's not the case here, obviously. But to highlight it, the blitz will have to always run through and kill the smoke and the Echo. In this case, the entire job might just land on Psycho, and he has to have clear line of sight. Opening up the red hallway wall might just be an advantage here for Black Dragons if they can set up the glass correctly.
I would almost like to see glass just drop in an elevator hatch and push from there, but no, they're definitely going to be pushing from the servers, as is the usual. Now Wag getting his job done, opening up those walls, and now checking checking the drone to make sure that there's no one flanking from the hatch above, which is what they need to do. But Shate a little late on pulling that drone back.
He can take his sweet tam here. Diffuser is going to get set right on the floor, trying to bait out C4s. You see Pengu comes up, and they're trying to burn smokes first and leave the C4 till the end, which I think is a very good thing to do because they don't want to peek up just yet. The smoke can be used by Psycho to his advantage, so you don't really want to expend the C4 early on. There we go, though. I say that C4 thrown in. Very smart kill here as Wag will go down, though PZD will refrag on Shate, taking down the Echo. And now it's all on Fabian with the smoke plays. Goga, though, still has a C4 to play with. Red hallway is going to get flashed. You see Kamikaze jumping on in, taking control of the diffuser. Smoke doing damage, and Psycho plays the glass, and Pengu will go down. The angles are so complicated to deal with here against the glass. Goga will get one. They spot the glass, and he's so low on HP. Psycho has to run back and reload. as Jonas is still looking into Garage and gets the kill to avenge his fallen teammate here, Fabian. 2 versus 2 and definitely favoring the defense. This mirror window will get open, 10 seconds remaining. Might just see a drop. There's no C4 to be played with here. Might just play for a retake as he jumps on out. Has to play the top side, but no, Julio gets one. Now the drop, Jonas and Goga will get the kills. And nicely done. Penta a 4-1. My God, what is happening here? This is a reverse from what we saw in Sao Paulo. Their coach, Shas, has done so much work to help them here with. And you see just these new strategies that are being played.
I feel like Penta baited them into bank at this point because they know it's a map they're good at, and they're just like, that's fine. We'll really over-prepare for that map, then let you think you've won and think we're trading for border, but really we're getting 2 maps we want to play you on at this point. But you saw both teams really make change-ups. You saw the Glaz come out to be able to help counter because he can see through the smokes that are coming out. So when they bait the smokes out, they can also see if anyone peeks, try and see if they can do some damage to the wall. And you see how much resources they have to commit on Penta's side to guarding that garage because they're so afraid of Red Hall getting taken, since Pengu is such an important part of that. Because if they flash out Pengu or stop him from being able to do his job, the push starts to work.
And even then, we saw, of course, Shate on the Echo. Throughout the round, he just stuck to Garage with the Echo, and even holding the Yokai in there. Even then, he got killed, and they were still able to bring it back. So
absolutely,
even with their high utility operator being taken out, Penta were still good enough on the reaction time and the predictions to move back and jump into servers. But here we head into round number 6, 4-1 up here. Penta Sports in the lead, with Europe as Psycho yet again on the Vigil, and we see PZT on the Ela, Kamikaze for Legion. Maybe still afraid of any play with Shield.
And interesting that they're not bringing the Montaigne this time. Fabian actually on Thermite of all things, Shate on Buck, Junis on Sophia. They've really changed up the whole lineup because they're going to be attacking this totally different on this downstairs this time because they know that Black Dragon's going to be prepared, but PZD, the least prepared of the team, as Thermite killed them.
Oh, boy. Fabian this time on the Thermite, as you say. Fabian and Goga have been exchanging roles fairly often. Even Fabian relegating himself to a support role because they said, okay, he's our IGL, let him focus less on kills and more on what's happening in the game on the bigger picture. But here, he lands the shot, takes down an important roamer. No more Ela to play with.
That's a highlight moment for Fabian.
Exactly.
One of his earliest kills. But nonetheless, that's a very good place to be with 4-1 match point on their map. That is not looking good for Black Dragons, but I don't imagine they're going to get too tilted by this. However, you've got Psycho and Goga actually looking for each other. The Vigil and the IQ able to scan and find each other. It's almost like trying to counter the pulse here. That is not great for Psycho at all, but he makes the most of it.
Nicely done. Headshot. Goga taken down on the window. Of course, you can't just keep track of things and then jump into the 3 seconds that you take to get ready and get the angle. Are just too much here for Goga. It's support on the IQ. Jonas setting himself up on the Zofia. Still roaming from Psycho. He does not spot. That's the important thing with playing Vigil, is that you cannot stick to one spot throughout the entire round. You have to keep moving and keep your opponents guessing.
Well, the nice thing is because if they saw the scan on the drone, it'd still be showing up there in the CEO office, but then also downstairs, so they won't actually know he rotated 1 floor down. If he sticks somewhere near, his possible place is upstairs as well. So he's playing this very smart, making sure that they just cannot hunt him down. And with only a minute left, they really need to at this point.
Psycho still in a pretty tight angle. We'll turn on the ERC. Might be able to get a quick pick here as he hears the opponent moving, or both opponents moving from right above. But I think they have some sort of idea. No, they know. Oh my God, how does he not get that? Well, is he going to drive for the second? And Jonas, unfortunately, can't turn around and get the shot on Zofia. Pengu jump in, take control of the diffuser. Shate puts his aim down into archives. Go gets the spot. Psycho will go down. Nicely done. That's both roamers down. But Goga and Jonas are out. Fortunately, the Buck, the Habana, and the Thermite are still alive for Penta Sports, so it is not done just yet. These reinforced hatches and walls are definitely doable, but wow, aggressive play on the stairs. Pengu will go down as little time remains on the clock.
10 seconds left.
Fabian just having to rush in for the fight to the 1v1. Drops one more, and there's only 2 alive for Black Dragons and Penta. They run on into the site, but unfortunately, both get shot down. And Black Dragons take their second round.
Not out of this yet, but I got to give pretty much all the credit for that round win to Psycho, who not only got that early kill on someone that was actually his direct counter, he actually burned so much time after that, and then his second kill was on the diffuser carrier, forcing them to drop it, forcing them to have someone else carry the diffuser who was meant to be more of a frag role or support role. Then that person went down the stairs, got killed as well, dropping the diffuser once more, leaving Fabian in a tough position where even if he'd been a fragging role, still couldn't have saved that round.
Yeah, Wag definitely being the player to save things here. You're never expecting it. When there's 15 seconds remaining, you'd expect your opponents to just sit down and hunker down on the site and play turtle, but here, not the case. Wag, very aggressive. He's been criticized in the past for being way too passive, not being able to do much during the rounds as an impact player, as someone that also has to stick on the site. Here, he's definitely showing up.
Yeah, and we will see Julio actually going back on the blitz, but this time for a different bomb site. So that should be interesting to see how it's played. We've seen a lot of blitz shields played to attack the bottom floor, but not so much on Teller's Archives. But he does have the support of another shield, one meant for a face on Kamikaze, on the Blackbeard, who could actually even play the windows if he wants to help his blitz push in and shoot over a shield. Not sure what angles he's going to use, but he has a lot of potential uses to help Julio out, along with Wagden to open the walls on those tellers if he wants to. But a lot of defenses being set up upstairs to make sure that even if they start to lose that site, they can drop down and retake.
I wonder if PZD goes for breaching charges instead of claymores. Definitely be an interesting point.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
I mean, claymores, though, are so powerful in this game. I think sometimes they're underrated because even when they don't get a kill, they slow people down. They deny access when they can't be shot, and that is so powerful on an attack because of the way roamers just change the game so often round to round.
Kamikaze, first Blackbeard here picked up in the series. And, well, for once, we'll see a Mark 17 being used instead of an SR-25.
Yeah, it's been very rare this tournament.
Julio joining in on the blitz. Again, blitz, very quick reactions, very quick timing that you need to have. Very much reflects the name.
Interesting to have Shate play in that janitor closet. It can be an unsafe place to play if you don't have a nice impact nade hold to get out of that room. So hopefully he's got that set up. But they've got so much utility here to try and redirect players, and usually see impact nades combined with those. Legion Mine's doing their job though.
As well as the Jmot Mine from the Ella. Goga held up very, very close. Interestingly enough, there is no Mira to play around with, and Goga very smart. Not getting too aggressive. He does not want to reveal himself just yet. There surprisingly no drone, but as I say that, Kamikaze comes in.
That's good for Julio.
Set up though information from the Legion Mine. As you see Julio running all the way back outside, and a 1v1 fight as Fabian gets the kill on Psycho. They're so preoccupied with clearing out Goga upstairs that Julio finally will clean him up. More impacts we're gonna get thrown. Shate, 2 bullets in the mag, goes in for the 1v1, tries to knife the air, but Julio will win that fight. And it's Jonas will go again for it. What is happening here? Fabian gets the kill on Kamikaze, Jonas with frag. It's only PZD on the Twitch. Shot from below, what a clear angle from PENTA Sports. And I love how they just corner their opponents in, and Black Dragons stopped a janitor closet. PZD moving in here to the conference room, but every single angle of escape is blocked. The walls are reinforced, and even the entrances here, the entrances are castle barricaded. Of course, Goga doing so well in the prep phase to set up these hunting positions.
Yeah, they know where he's at now.
Almost getting the kill, and Staircase will be the death of PZD as Jonas finishes him off. PENTA and Europe take map number 1, and surprisingly, as we said, Devin, this is usually a map for Brazil. This is usually a map especially for Black Dragons. Bank goes the way of PENTA.
I'm feeling PENTA on this one, I gotta say. I have never seen such a fight over a room full of brooms in this game. Just massacre of the janitor closet. Thankfully, the things to clean it up not too far away. However, this is going into a map that favors PENTA. This is where Black Dragons need to be doing what Shaz is doing right now, which is really making sure they can take what they learned from that last fight and apply it to Border. A bit of a different map, but also a somewhat large one as well. But the lines of movement are so different than Bank.
Of course, the team huddle reminds us a lot of the huddles that we had with Silence, of course, with FaZe, that were unfortunately knocked out of the tournament, where he's got his playbook, he's got all the information in there, and everybody just huddles up, and you see a bit of a defeated face on Black Dragons. Not really looking back to their coach, Cherry, to try and maybe find a way out of this predicament, because this is starting to hark back to Sao Paulo, but in reverse.
Yeah, Border and Consulate are two maps that are just so well known as being Pentas. And like I said earlier, I feel like Black Dragons thought they were getting their map on that first map and thought, okay, it's fine, we can trade for Border because we're going to have Bank. And I think we could do Oregon. You know, they have a pretty good Oregon. But it's just, when that's not the case anymore, that's what you do. I've heard it from so many top-tier teams. They will purposely beat teams on their own map, specifically to tilt them on map one.
Exactly.
In fact, you saw Wilkie earlier. I know he's done that specifically. Canadian did it right back to him as well. In the next season, it happens time and time again. That is the psychological warfare of this game, and that is the joy of esports. This isn't just about clicking things. The mind is so involved in this game.
Yep. Play the same match the next day, and maybe it'll be different with different strategies that have been pulled.
That's why we have 6 days of it.
Exactly, 6 straight days, an entire week practically of Rainbow Six Siege. And well, best thing to crown the year and to start a new one is the Invitational of 2018 live in Montreal, Canada. We are getting ready for map number 2, Border here. Black Dragons are down a map. Gonna have to fight their way through because Border has been proven to be a pretty good map for Penta historically.
Yeah, and they're just really going to have to figure out how to adapt to crack defenses a little bit more on the fly, because I feel like those strats with Julio on Blitz Shield are great for throwing people off their game, but when it doesn't work, when you're spending all your time fighting over a janitor closet just to make progress, right next to your entry point, that's exactly where you don't want to be in a situation where your counter strats aren't there.
And the important thing is that not only were they all stuck trying to fight Goga and Janitor, but also Penta realized what was going on with their information game, and they were able to send Fabian up from the side of the stairs, get a shot from below using the hatch as well to their advantage with the MP7. So it's just the reaction time has to be very, very small when you're playing against Penta. And unfortunately, Black Dragons there at the end, feeling like they're trying to push through a brick wall. Unfortunately, it didn't work at all. But here you see them
really recollecting themselves.
They're trying to be calm. But sometimes you have to not talk. Take a minute off. Relax. Get those nerves out, because if you don't, then we might see tensions flare up between players during a game, and that is the thing that might spell disaster for Black Dragons. But let's see if they can huff and puff on map number 2. It is Border Penta Sports versus Black Dragons, semifinal number 1, Invitational 2018. One team will make it to the grand final, and it's possible for Penta to take this 2-0. We'll see if Black Dragons can tie it up and take it at map 3 on Oregon. Let's head right on in.
This is going to be interesting to see what comes from Penta, because we know what to expect from Penta a lot of times, but the top fraggers have been the people you least expect on this team, Goga and Fabian. Not that they're not great players, but you just didn't expect them to be out-fragging people like Pengu and Shate. And this is a situation where if those guys are showing up and then Shate and Pengu show up, I mean, Junis has been doing great as well, not to dismiss him, but if those other two show up, this is just disaster for Black Dragons on a map that is so good for Penta.
All right, standard attack set up here from Penta Sports. Jonas on the glass, Fabian with the Ying, and of course the pretty good Ying as well. Shate on the Twitch, Pengu for Thermite this time. All right, and
it doesn't matter what role it is, they just know what they're doing.
Yep, and of course Psycho. We won't be seeing any Vigil just yet. PZD is going for the L, and we've seen how deadly he's been with the CZ.
Yeah. This will be interesting to see, because they don't have a Bandit or a Mute, anything to slow down the approach on that wall for Pengu to open up with that Thermite. So they're going to have to entirely depend on defending it well, or we can see Penta go over for the opposite side. There's 2 ways to play it, but I mean, this is the lineup that they brought is perfect for attacking that A wall. You have Pengu to open the wall. Fabian throws in the Candelas and the smokes. Goga gets the intel on what's in the room first. Junis shoots through the smoke, and it's over for them. Fabian just gets that plant down wherever he wants in the room at that point. And that is a tough spot to be in for Black Dragons, who have little to specifically deny that.
They have to face off against Julio's anchor play on the Mira. In my mind, definitely the best anchor play you can have really on your team, and especially to have him on Mira.
But they do have Shate here to be able to even open that window, and that puts Julio in a bad spot.
Grenade's going to get bounced in from Goga. Unfortunately, won't find anything at the end of its trail. And it's interesting as well, because Shate's playing the Twitch, which with the combatant, the drone itself is kind of a counter, if you will, to the Mira windows, or at least Mira in general, but Mira windows especially with Julio. But this is the thing, Shate is so well known for playing that amazing Mira that he does, that he gets into the mind of his opponent and can predict it, but Psycho gets kill one. That will be Jonas play.
Not a great start for PENTA on this round, though, because that's going to be a very important part of this attack strat. However, since they're attacking from the opposite side, maybe not as much.
Shate is still moving in on the Twitch drone here. Goga set up very close on the offices. They're basically going for a two-pronged attack, which is not something you see. This separates the team a lot and gives the defenders a bit of an advantage instead of being mostly separated and having to watch only one side. Here, they have to split up, but in a way that they can counter because they see the setup, the operators that are being used from PENTA on each one of these levels. The Twitch, Shate falling downstairs as Goga lines up shots on the offices. B's at D, aggressive peek on the yellow will get the kill.
Oh, here's the Candela's coming out, though, and this is where it's going to start to happen. Pengu having to play from the window. That could have been Glaz's spot, but now that he's dead, Shate trying to counter the roamers. Unfortunately can't, as PZD takes out Fabi. This is falling apart.
Pengu will go down. Well done by Black Dragons. Absolutely shattering PENTA Sports on round number 1. Not too sure what went wrong here. Fly me through this, Enzo. Because
I mean, Junas getting picked off at the beginning was definitely a big blow for them because he was the one who could have made that work there once the smoke started coming out. It would have been very hard to push against them. But then they just didn't have anyone to play that AC window. They had to have the thermite on it, and that was very little coverage to try and actually get the plant down. Shate also losing his fight downstairs meant he wasn't able to clear out any roams, so even if the plant had started to go down, they were going to be able to push back from upstairs. And then the peek onto Goga on the stairs was perfect. It was very close. That could have gone either way. But just winning those gunfights completely disabled all the plays that they had, and just unfortunate for PENTA on the start of their map.
Unfortunate indeed. No, PENTA are on the defense. Jonas will go for his signature bandit. Goga on his signature belt. Pengu as well. It seems like everybody is just picking up their most well-known operators on the defense. Usually this spells very, a nice rays of sunshine and clear skies for PENTA Sports. Unfortunately, Black Dragons definitely trying to cloud it up. Julio going for the Zofia. And he's at D with Psycho. Psycho, what an absolute, Psycho on the glass, I have to say.
Absolutely. I feel like every Brazilian team has a very dominant glass player. You got people like Cyber, you got people like Psycho, you got people like GCR. Just Brazil knows glass, I think, better than any other region. And it's something that's difficult to counter, to say the least. But if you kill him at the beginning of the round like last round, that's kind of how you counter him. If he's dead, that's probably the most effective defense. But we'll see, though, as PENTA obviously have something in mind. This is their map pick. This is the site they wanted to play first, so this is their primary one. Now, with so much play of this site in the meta, they're going to have a lot to work with in terms of thinking through what the common attacks are, what the common ways to play it are. But Black Dragons don't always play things the common ways, and that's what PENTA really have to have prepared for here, because it could come from either side. It could come from offices, could come from lockers, could come from a double pinch, and Shate playing that defense from the lockers into the CCTV makes sure that he's able to help defend that at least a little bit.
I usually see the mirror window being set inside of the desk area. That gives them a bit of a wider angle when their opponents are trying to enter. This is just to try and limit the effectiveness.
For exactly this right here.
And when you don't have a Habana on the side, then getting that entry angle, it really matters for BD to keep WOG alive. And you see the entire team almost setting up to enter through one position. Exactly, a C4, and Jonas and Shate are definitely waiting for it, but Psycho, what an angle, finding it here as he moves right in, takes down the batteries, doesn't even need a Thatcher if he can just run in, spots the side of the head here. Jonas goes in for a quick peek and falls back very quickly. They're playing this very strange 1v1. But drone doesn't spot him just yet. They can definitely remaneuver from below and get a kill from that open floor.
Yeah, you see Psycho just getting that drone going too as well, because he wants to know where to play. Once he starts to get into that smoke again, he needs to know where to start clicking, and he definitely does now. As Jonas is kind of trapped there behind that half wall. Once there's a glass in play, good luck getting away from there.
Yeah, well, Psycho, smoke again to see both angles are open, but the window is still clear.
I like this double angle here in case he gets away from the glass. Kamikaze will take him down.
At least they cornered us in the back, and they're going to try to flash him out. The rest of his teammates set in the back. C4 is going to get thrown in and won't hit anybody here. No damage done, and that was the only one that they had. At least close to the site. Goga still has one to play around with, but Shate with a close angle. And Untitled doesn't even need a mirror window to be set up for him. All he needs is just a couple pixels, a couple bullets with a vector.
Now the Candles can't come out anymore at this point. Shate's a little worried about a flank.
A full rotation from Black Dragons as they try to push through from the hallway here, and then remaneuver back into CCTV. They might try to find a frag, but Goga so close on the angle. Shate and Fabian having a field there with everyone. Psycho nailing only one, but Shate to clean things up. And they took so long to push through. I think not having a Hibana to try and push around this position forced them to play with the Thermite.
Yeah, it's so rare to see a non-Hibana pick on there, even with the Thermite. But
almost ever.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you saw the pick rates earlier as well. So there's part of a reason that didn't work, but also just the Candles didn't end up effective. They were never able to actually push in and take any kind of control of that room. And I love the read from that. Once they know they killed the Ying player, they were able to rotate. Both teams anticipated the rotate, though, and they were able to completely counter all of that push. And you saw how many angles Penta was using. I love Shate. He misses the C4, but then he makes up for it with that super tight pixel angle across that open wall.
Pop takes him down. Well, Penta now tying it up 1-1 as they go on the attack. They've been going for a sledge of all things, and Black Dragons back on the defense with a pretty standard pick for them. The Kamikaze is going to be on the Bandit. The Valkyrie from Psycho. C4 is proven to be so strong to have, especially when you can combo it with a pulse. Won't be the case here. It's going to be a workshop defense for a Brazilian team.
Now, I have to imagine they anticipated that. Unless there was something wacky going to come out, it's pretty much go to downstairs here next. So their lineup should be reflecting that. We'll see what the Thermite gets used for, but it's typically for the bathroom attack coming in from that side, whether or not you actually use it in the bathroom or not. But that also means that Black Dragons are going to anticipate that kind of attack as well. So a lot of battle comes down to the top floor, not just the top floor, but the top floor down through the floor into the bottom floor, because you need top floor control in this. Those hatches are so deadly. If you don't take top floor control and you take site, you still have to be careful of hatch drops for a retake, although I do think that's a favorable situation for many attackers who have the manpower left to do it.
We'll see if Penta will have it at some point as Jonas goes up to Customs here.
Concerned about those runouts, man. We've seen those.
Yep,
brutal.
Definitely be possible if Black Dragons just rush PZD in with the Ella and try to get a kill with that, though. Pengu opting to rotate all the way around, and he's going to drop to the side and probably set himself on ventilation. That's something that he's been known for doing even when he plays the Ashe. And we've called this multiple times. Sure, you take a bit of damage, but the position that it gives you is just so good. And just so much faster than running back. And here we go. Kamikaze will be the first to fall, but Fabian will get refragged as gets spotted by PZD on an off angle.
What I find interesting is they brought the Bandit this time, but not last time when you're defending the site. But that early kill onto him makes that completely ineffective. And this is just a free site at this point.
Whoa. Psycho with one, but they'll spot him. Julio taking down. Shate with a headshot. PZD goes down to the floor. And now they'll pick up the drones and pick up the diffuser as they set up to push down on the site. Wag and Psycho alive, and Wag still has his... Nicely done. Let's shock the Valk. Well done, Shate. They will lose out the drone here. No biggie. Goga coming in from below as well. Shate sets up. Still have the rifles to play with this, but C4 on Psycho, it can definitely be done.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much health you got with that high of fire rate. Chances are you might win that engagement and take a little bit of damage at most to your body. But now they're going to start to push for the B site as they start to open things up here.
Yeah, and the amount of time that is left gives them the ability to maneuver. This will give them a clear line of sight into where they're trying and hoping to set the bomb down. So Thermite holding this top angle is extremely important as Psycho sets up in a workshop. No nitro cell. I correct myself. Remaining here, so cannot use that disadvantage. Oh, 1v1. Wag takes down one, and that is the diffuser on the floor. No, Shate is able to pick it up before the smoke gets the Pengu. 1v1 on Wag, takes him out, but now there's 30 seconds on the clock. They have to rotate back on the site.
No smokes to delay, though.
Psycho is so up close here. just trying to nail a quick angle. Shate has to either wait for Pengu to help him out. They're going to be able to drone the Valkyrie here as she remaneuvers. Gets one. Psycho clutches it! Both from Penta going down, and Black Dragons are up. What a play on the Valk.
At that point, they just had so little utility left to be able to clear him out. He just knew how to play it because he knew where they were going to approach from. And that's how you play a clutch moment like that. That easily could have gone either way, but he was playing tight angles using the servers there as part of his defense. That room is a little weird to maneuver around in, but if you know how to play the angles right towards that front door, you can really make the most of it because they have to get into that room, and that doorway is tough. That being said, he could have gone for the B site if he had the diffuser to go for a plant, but that's a tough position to be in. And Psycho, without the C4, still somehow wins that just due to gunfights. You see Shate looking a little sad at not winning that gunfight because he felt like he should have. Maybe he should have spared that Twitch drone and saved it for later because that could have given him the intel he needed. So unfortunate, early, too much use of utility, but a nice attempted rotate from Penta on that take.
You see Shate even setting up here on the defense with the Mira. Penta are so well known for setting up murder holes either on here, on... We see this not only on Border, we see it on Oregon, we see it on Consulate, but as you pointed out, Fabian on the Vigil.
That should be interesting. I mean, they're just swapping roles left and right. It just seems like they want to play what they need to play. It doesn't matter what they're necessarily quote-unquote good at. As we've seen a lot of these, like I said, quote-unquote support operators showing up today, it doesn't seem to matter. But they've got to deal with that Julio shield, and there are some good aggressive ways to play that downstairs as well as upstairs on this map, and Julio knows it well. So it just depends on the rest of his team to support him. PZD obviously could bring a lot of flash, and then Julio can bring that face-to-face flash.
Yoga outside on the cams here, making sure he's all set up to gain as much info as possible. They have ones as well set up in a way where it's not only getting information on your opponents once they're outside, but also once they are inside, just in case you lose certain positions. It's definitely something that all teams do, but something definitely to highlight for people that forget that sometimes you're going to lose a fight. But at least this gives them something to fall back on.
Well, then let's say Fabian dies on that roam. Now he could just jump into all those cams as the IGL and do some great work. Unfortunately, speaking of jumping, your drone cannot jump on the shock drone. So Psycho missing that means burning up an extra couple seconds there that could cost him a little bit. And these castle barricades also going to burn some time that Pengu has set up. We saw how effective castle was for Goga, as well as a little bit for Black Dragons.
Hallway angle opened up from security all the way through to Fountain, trying to find maybe an angle through there. Of course, everything is reinforced in the back. Julio on the blitz. And, oh, clear line of sight from Psycho. This might just force Shate to fall back.
I like how Julio checked to make sure that the area wasn't shot out above him, so he knows he doesn't back into a C4.
Oh, Shate with a C4.
Speaking of which,
will go down. That's the Ying. That is a huge frag to kill here. So close to the actual push. And
we remember what happened last time when that happened.
Even the body getting thrown all the way back. And Jonas on the Bandit. One more, the MP7. Julio will get shot down. Information relayed so quickly. Angles held so close from Penta. Psycho is setting offices. And oh my god, Kamikaze on Jonas here, but Psycho taking even more damage. Kamikaze rushing in on the Valk and the drop shot. Goga will fall. Fabian still downstairs. They still have no idea where he is. The ace up Penta's sleeve. Oh, what a spot. No flashes to throw up there maybe. Psycho goes down. Kamikaze unfortunately unable to support him as Wag finally remembers he should be flashing his teammate inside. Kamikaze does not spray through the wall. But they're going to get spotted. Pengu yet again, and Shate with the last. Penta now tying it up 2-2.
I love how Fabian didn't even have to do anything that round, but be a distraction for drones at the best. Not that it seemed like they were droning all that well on their entries because the positions weren't known. For example, Pengu just chilling on top of the shelf there. Like you said, they didn't flash him in. They didn't drone him in. They just were not prepared for the spots they were playing.
Yeah, Fabian cosplaying himself in-game, you know, really usually not really doing much except for focusing on the matchup ahead.
Unfortunately, not invisible to cameras in real life. Just kidding. We love you, Fabian.
It's a bit of a running joke at this point. That's the kind of friendship that you'd like to develop with everybody, and I believe we are at that point.
Well, hopefully these guys will still be friends after this because it looks like Penta figured out what they were doing wrong and could close this out, but it is only tied 2-2. So see some work coming out there from Shate, who we didn't see as much from on Bank. Again, for people who are new to this, he is the newest addition to Penta, coming previously from Zissou turned ENCE.
Yes.
So he is the Finnish player that they've brought on, a former star player from another team. So that is gelling nicely with Penta to try and take this all the way to tomorrow and potentially the trophy at the end.
Arguably two of the best Finnish players and two of the best Nordic players in here. Jonas playing, of course, as well with Shate, as you mentioned.
10 seconds
Just
to go.
Psycho playing around the offices, setting himself up on the Valkyrie. This is going to be an archive/armor defense. And pretty standard so far, nothing out of the ordinary. Psycho just runs out, set up the Black Eye. There are positions, including this one here, that is so difficult. Oh no,
I think he might have missed it. Yeah, it dropped down.
Oh no. That is a fairly easy to see Black Eye, but there's a tiny spot upstairs that is so difficult for anybody to shut down, and it gives you a clear line of sight on
Also
ventilation.
so difficult for anyone to hit.
that is the biggest part of it. Yeah.
But we are seeing that Ying coming out again from Fabian. Struggled a little bit with that last time, but he is the diffuse carrier, which means obviously he's going to be going for that plant if he gets that flash in. But they need to cover him. They do have the Thermite, and as we talked about before, no Habana. Interesting choice that costs Black Dragons a bit. Julio taking a little bit of early damage actually on that Mira.
Just a tiny bit, not enough really to well, just a bit of a grace, has to fall back on just a bit. PZD set up in the security room, and the Mira window will get opened. All right, let's see.
What'll be interesting too is to see if Fabian flashes in and Junis with those concussion grenades can really stun the heck out of that room so that they can't even spray well in their place. Oh, that's gonna really hurt
Great
Julio.
information from Jonas here, just knowing when to push. This is something that Black Dragons failed to perceive before when Jonas was set with the Bandit way in the back of A, but Bengu sets up on the Thermite. He's going to try to burn any ADS inside. He just chucks one in and then throws in the second. And there are two, double ADSs. That's what you want. This part of the map, CCTV security room, is so important to hold. You see a quick run out from Psycho. Unfortunately, can't get anything. I don't know what kind of information you're playing on.
He didn't know he was out there.
And Shate takes him out. PZD might just be looking for a push, but Goga will nail the headshot on Julia. Kamikaze refrags on Fabian. Kamikaze with a double. Goga going down. Play on close in the windows. Kamikaze might just line the third. No, he cannot. We'll just get forced back for a sec. This is burning so much time for Penta as we hit the last minute.
Attackers have recovered their
They've lost a lot of their entry power here as well. Being distracted by CCTV here, I'd say Kamikaze single-handedly potentially saving this round for Black Dragons in what looked like a solid Penta start. And now you see Judas having to rotate around and reconsider, maybe even going for an opposites push. He does have the grenades to open this up, but it looks like they decided to start that with their shotguns. Shate gonna have to support him in this with some claymores there. Deciding to ban that, but Pengu,
oh my god! PZD will go down. What an angle! Gets the second Pengu again!
Don't repeat that.
Only Kamikaze left alive, and Fountain on the Jaeger. He's done so much, but he will have to completely ace the round to bring it back. Spots one offense, but Pengu nails it yet again. The aim is on point, and Penta will go up.
Last time I was giving Pengu a bad time about being on that window as a Thermite, but this time so effective, they just over-peaked him, and that was a real problem for them. You shouldn't go and re-peak that when you know your teammate died from an odd angle like that, but I think they thought they were going to catch him on the reload or on backing away. But Pengu was like, no, I'm fine. I got plenty of bullets left. I'll stick that angle. I got to give Kamikaze a lot of credit, though, for what he did in terms of that CCTV play, not just in terms of his gunfire, but also the way he stacked those ADSs, made sure they weren't able to burn them efficiently, and eventually they gave up. And giving up like that means not only did they get the ability to clear those and get what they were going on with the flashes in the room to push him, but they also wasted flashes for nothing at that point because they didn't get any kill out of it. So great plays by Kamikaze, but as you said, he would have had to ace it to save his team. So an unfortunate situation that puts them down now 1 point and 2 potential points away from being done and just having to watch the finals from the sidelines.
Now this might turn into the reverse of Sao Paulo, as so far Penta said regain the momentum. Black Dragons will go yet again for the glass on Psycho. Fortunately, PZD going down means very difficult push for them. Shate on the board with 8 kills, 7 for Pengu. Definitely the 2 players to look out for from PENTA Sports, but also the Psycho from Black Dragons. If they give him the correct angle, that's the thing. But the setup has been so difficult for him.
I feel like he was able to get some great angles last time and played it very smartly, but too slow. And since PZD wasn't able to actually make the most of it, and Junis just sat behind that wall the whole time, him actually staying alive behind that wall probably burned up a good 30 seconds of that last attack on this. And if they can't clear him out of that again, they'll be in the exact same situation because they don't have grenades to throw there.
Yeah. If they can just, sit down on the ADSs here. And easy play. I mean, we've seen a lot of plays with Jaegers that just will pick up the ADS and put it the other spot because, well, one, you can do that, but two, the information game on the team, if it is on point, you can definitely rotate back and use it where your opponent is starting to attack. And rotations, even in the attack, have been prevalent here on Border.
But I mean, they literally have no grenades on their team, on these operators. And when you know a guy was stuck behind half wall last time, you should probably bring some of the grenades. Maybe we should be seeing a buck at this point. Julio maybe just hoping, okay, I can at least clear the batteries with the EMP grenades, but what are you gonna do about someone behind half wall? No buck, no grenades. Maybe Psycho could just go underneath and just open the floor at that point.
Yeah, it's something that can easily be exploited. We saw Jonas doing that. Shate Doe with the first kill, and Psycho going down. The glass is out of commission. Shate that has to set up behind half wall, as you said. Jonas behind, and this forces a rotation from Black Dragons. You see them all going all the way around with a minute 25 on the clock. Fabian still downstairs on the Jaeger. We've seen when his teammates do the job, he doesn't even need to do anything.
I like them adapting to pushing this office site, but we saw what happened when they did that last time. The entire team of PENTA anticipated it, and with the man advantage they have at the angles they can play, this is going to be very difficult. PZD is going to have to play this smart with his team if they want to get anywhere into those rooms. And you see Pengu hanging out up on top of that shelf again.
He opens the floorboard for Fabian here. They gives them such a good, clear angle, even from the sides, just in case we see a rush for the plant as PZD is still alive, and we've definitely seen the effect that Ying has had on these matches.
Yeah, Fabian could be a key part of this at the end, but that's if they could even get inside. I like that what Pengu was trying to do. Unfortunately, he was spotted out a little bit, so it wasn't able to work, but smoke canisters are going to come out here from Pengu to stall this out with 30 seconds left. It's not going to be easy, and Shate can even rotate around with that Mira.
A close angle here as the last gas nade will get popped, and the ADSs are burning at least one of these candelas. Close angle hold up here by Pengu. C4 from Goga takes down Wag, and now in a 1v1 fight, PZD will get one, but Goga will refrag. Shate reloading the Vector. 45 as Kamikaze runs in, takes down Fabian. No more use of the angle from below. Julio, though, gets shot down by Jonas on the Bandit with the MP7. Kamikaze on his own 3v1, and there is only 1 second remaining. Round will go the way of PENTA Sports, and they are 1 round away here, Devin. 1 round from the grand final.
I just feel like with the lack of adaptation we've seen from Black Dragons into these defenses, it's looking like we could see this close out here for PENTA, taking it to tomorrow, because Black Dragons, like I was saying about the grenades, like I was saying about what they're doing, they're losing their Glass early or someone else that's important like PZD on that Ying to push. Once that happens, they just don't have that push power anymore, and they stall out. They try and do rotations, but all that does is just give time for the defenders to reorient themselves as well, because it's not easy to rotate around to the entire other side of the map when you didn't do any initial setup to push it. Let's say they were doing a double pinch. That's a situation where they could have easily rotated, but they did not. And Pengu able to stay alive inside that room and delay with smokes just put them in even more of a desperate situation. Yeah, Fabian didn't do anything from the floor, but Pengu was so comfortable up there, he was even able to start setting up stuff for him. Plus, you had all the other operators. Since Shate wasn't being pushed anymore, he could just come around and get that kill through the wall. Just unfortunately, the Black Dragons don't know how to pick apart these defenses.
Yep, and unfortunately for them as well is that PENTA are so good at knowing when to use their utility on the defense, when they have to throw these smokes, when they have to time for the C4 as well. The information, the communication being so strong. And if you thought PENTA Sports were scary when the KS was playing on the roster, you bet everything you have here on Shate being even more of a thorn in any team's side.
Yeah. I mean, we have to keep in mind, though, last map we saw a situation like this, and Black Dragons was at least able to take 1 more round before going down. But this is a little bit of a struggle in terms of PENTA being on such a strong attack as well as defense that they're going to be able to potentially pick this part. If Shate can do his job, and he already is off to a strong start. unfortunately misses that. He wishes he had more shots, but as long as he doesn't waste his utility like he did previously when attacking ventilation, he's going to be in a good position to help this. He does spot that out as well. Unfortunate for PZD, giving away his position and just spending so much time trying to fight that drone.
Goga set all the way in the back here. There have not been any kills just yet. It's PZD that is a bit low on HP. Jonas trying to get into CCTV, but they will try to challenge him in the hallway. Now just very close to spotting the head. He'll spot it as well. A mirror window has been opened up. A great play from Jonas. From Shate before him on the Twitch drone. At least they forced their opponents out, but Julio run out here. They do not reinforce both walls, and that plays into the advantage of Julio, taking down Goga.
That was one of the best plays we've seen from them so far.
And Jonas using the lifeline to get the shot all the way down into the desk and open a side angle into his opponent. Julio is set down. This might just be the angle that they need to clean up the mirror. No more C4s here, but PZD, quick shot, and another one run out here, taking down Shate. PZD might just be able to win this. Can't get Bengu as he jumps in on the thermite. Half HP with Fabian downstairs on the buck. They can definitely play a quick push plant, but they need to be on point. A single mistake here might just end it, and with 2 C4s for Black Dragons, might spell disaster for Penta Sports that are so close to making it forward.
Love that peek there. They both knew they were both going to peek, but neither landed their shots. And that's unfortunate for Pengu. Now he's going to have a tough with Buck here.
Oh, Fabian, here we go. Opens the side of the mirror. It's downstairs. Unsuspecting is Julio. And he'll go down. Wag, Psycho, and Kamikaze alive. They try to get a quick angle on Pengu, but this is the information that you need. Power positions are so good. Fabian almost going down. Can't get the fight against Kamikaze. All up to Pengu. 1v3, half health, and he gets one. That is the start that they need. Psycho will go down, goes for the second. Unfortunately, Kamikaze runs in. That was a 1v1 at the end. Was not enough. Not enough time, not enough bullets, not enough damage. Reaction time, every single millisecond. So important here when you have to face off.
That's funny because it's 2 1v1s for Pengu in a row where he lost 50% health and killed the other person. Just this time, that was the other 50% of his health. And unfortunately, that was a little too late of a trade after Fabian going down.
Well, still, at least this shows the Black Dragons are not out yet. 4-3, there's still a possibility of an extra map, but they will have to tie it 4-4 to go into overtime. We'll see what happens if we do get there, but in the meantime, we set up for round number 8 as we see Fabian going for the Vigil yet again. And Emzo, last time, Fabian didn't really end up doing much in the Vigil, but why was he not contested?
I think Black Dragons just don't have a lot of good time control, time management in terms of how they're getting that map control and establishing it, because you're seeing them having to do all these late rotates when they lose a key operator. Their strats depend on things going a little too much their way, and someone like Fabian really messes that up by having the ability to basically make the drones a little less useful, and in doing so, that makes it hard for them to count on the drone clears to establish map control without having to go into those rooms. And that's a situation that seemed to work last time. Maybe we couldn't see it directly, but it's certainly working. And Pengu and Shate are definitely working.
A lucky 7 from Black Dragons with the triple. Psycho, Kamikaze, and PZD. Unfortunately, frags for them. Rainbow Six, it's not all just about the kills here. It is about the strategy and how you use it to get a plant down, to take down your opponents if need be. That is your final resort.
The momentum has swung a little bit to Black Dragon's side, though, so if they can just get this round, they can take it to overtime, recollect themselves a little bit in terms of having more opportunity and not being on that match point threat right away. But you see already the effects of that Vigil kind of throwing them off a little bit on that drone, as they know it's a little bit weaker, so they know he's not right there, but they don't know exactly where. Now they're going to have to decide how they want to attack this. We've seen them previously have problems with this. They are bringing the Habana this time and no thermite, but they're still continuing to throw everything at this wall instead of doing some damage on the office side as well to give themselves the ability to rotate. And with such poor time control, it's going to be hard. But there's the window starting to open. That's a good start.
That's the bandit trick, though, and they were not expecting Jonas to even be upstairs, and he'll be able to disable one of the Kairos shots. Their grenade is going to get lobbed onto the side, and they will get the kill. Well done. Shate will fall to the floor as the EMP will take down any batteries that are remaining. But now we see Jonas setting back up again. Pengu taking a lot of damage in previous engagement as well. Penta really reeling from these fights, but Fabian After reveal himself downstairs.
Fabian's still in a position where, though, he can roam freely. They're not contesting him at all because this is so much trouble just to get this wall open, and they didn't even successfully open it yet from what I could tell. They just managed to kill Shate, and Juna's still half alive here. They're all stacking up in CCTV, trying to figure out what to do from here.
Hallway and Fountain push here as Psycho moves in. On the sledge, Goga gets the kill on PZD and remaneuvers. Sets himself up behind the mirror wall. Very smart play from Goga, our Spanish player. The only Spanish player in this entire tournament. Flashbangs are going to get thrown out. Those will perfectly flash Goga as he opens fire, but so slow! Kamikaze can't get the kill! Psycho will refrag though. We see a rush on from Jonas, the excellent player. Wag will get one more on Pengu. Tie it 2-2. Both teams, 2 players remaining, and this can be very close as Fabian is up in the K1A. One frag here could spell disaster for Black Dragons. As Wag is setting central stairs, getting some sort of eyeballs on what's going down on the site.
Such a desperate fight just to get the top floor.
Someone's going to get set up. Fabian's going to get spotted. The SMG-12. K1A is going to get pulled out. Unfortunately, I don't believe they have any flashes to play with anymore, and he rotates around. Fabian might just force the fight. There's no angle. Well, Eunice takes out one. Fabian gets the kill on one. Ladies and gentlemen, Penta Sports, the 2-time and technically even 3, they'll make it to the grand final, proving the world once and for all that they are arguably the best team, but there's still one more opponent to go with. I know we're in Canada. I know everybody here probably is a fan of Canadiens in Montreal. Unfortunately, they haven't been doing too well. Well, we're going to have one more Canadian on the Evil Geniuses. Maybe he can make it to the final versus Rogue. That is matchup coming right on after this in the semifinals. But congratulations again for Penta Sports. You see Fabian and the team happy here, exchanging words and salutations with Black Dragons. This